Hello, and welcome to my channel. Today's reading is going to be a message from Spirit about the upcoming Taurus new moon. And this is just going to be about the energies or themes that you may want to pay close attention to or maybe keep in your awareness around this time. But obviously, take this reading as it resonates with you, as always. And take as much time as you need to, but allow your intuition to guide you to whatever card or cards you find yourself most drawn towards. And feel free to pause the video if you need more time as well. And I will also leave the specific timestamps for each group of the reading in the description as well. Hello, Group 1, and welcome to your reading about your message from Spirit about the Taurus new moon. So we'll go ahead and take a look at the card that you chose, and this card is going to represent the overall energetic theme of the reading. And I'm also going to build upon that and get a little bit more information by getting some more tarot cards, followed by some oracle cards as well. So let's go ahead and take a look at the card that you chose. So the card that we have is the King of Pentacles, and this is actually a very wonderful way to start your reading about your message from Spirit about this Taurus new moon, because this King of Pentacles, this is really all about mastering the material realm, mastering your connection to the energy of abundance. And this is also very much related to the energy, a very strong masculine energy related to leadership as well. But this most likely has something to do with the element of earth. Like I said, the material realm, the 3D reality, but it could also have something to do with agriculture, food resources, any kind of resource for that matter, material resource. But this is all about having that mastery, and really, like in this picture here with this cat, just digging into that full can of tuna and really enjoying the best that life has to offer. That's a really perfect representation of that King of Pentacles energy. But I feel that this is, like I was saying, it's a beautiful way to start your reading, because the energy of Taurus is very much related to abundance as well. Being an earth sign, it has a lot to do with agriculture and the connection, even a shamanic connection to the earth as well. That that shamanic energy is very strong with Taurus in kind of a different sort of way, but it definitely has that energy of Gaia very much intertwined within the core of its being, and the core of its energetic signature. But this King of Pentacles really tells me that right now you're at a point, possibly, that where you're really putting in that hard work and that effort to make these dreams that you have a reality. And you may be at that point where you're digging into that full can of tuna and just enjoying your manifestations, but you may be at the point where you're not quite there yet, and that's completely okay. And obviously this reading is going to be different for everyone, because we all have our own unique journeys, and these energies manifest differently within each different situation. So but this King of Pentacles is really it's really a sign that you're headed in the right direction, and you're on the path of great abundance, great prosperity. This could also have something to do with your career as well, something to do with work. Whatever you do to put food on the table and make ends meet. But I feel that this is more than just getting by. This is having that luxury, and like I said, it's that mastery. It's not just doing the bare minimum. This is really enjoying the fruits of your labor after much hard work, and maybe tapping into some of those Saturn energies and archetypes as well. But obviously take this message as it resonates with you. And I think that this is a very good sign. And I think you have a lot of a lot of strong determination and strong will, and a very powerful alchemical vision of what you want to carry forward and really bring into this life. So I think this is a good sign to keep heading in that direction of building that dream and creating that abundance and happiness for yourself, and becoming a strong leader in your life, and learning to work with masculine energies in a balanced and healthy way as well, um, and working with them in their highest expression. So I'll go ahead and continue the reading by getting a few more tarot cards from our cat tarot. I felt like using this one today. It was just really cute, and I always love this deck. I haven't used it in a while. So I'm going to go ahead and get you a few more cards here, and we'll just see what other messages Spirit has for you about this Taurus new moon. So just give me a moment here. We'll see what cards want to come out. Okay, so the first one that we have is the World. And there's something interesting about that. I'll get to that in a second, and we also have the Five of Swords. Interesting. Just want to make sure you can see these and they're straight. Okay, so I'll begin with talking about this World card. This is interesting because I was just mentioning the energy of Saturn, and the World is often correlated to the energies of Saturn. And this Major Arcana card, this is all about completions and things really coming full circle. It's very much has a lot to do sometimes with graduations. Maybe you're at a point where you're maybe graduating from high school or college or some other higher education. Um, this could have to do with maybe just moving on from something in your life that is in the past, that is no longer in alignment. Whatever that is, I feel that this is a very positive card, and it has a lot to do with really embodying that mature energy as well, embodying that strong masculine, authoritative energy, being the authority over your life, and having gone through maybe some difficult situations to get to this graduation point. I feel that in order to get to this point, you may have been tested, perhaps, but I just feel that things have come full circle, and it's time to really to look forward rather than looking back. And I think that you're becoming stronger and wiser, and just really kind of stepping more into that master role. I feel that as you've developed a greater level of wisdom over a period of time, it's really been greatly beneficial, and this is actually a really good reason to celebrate, because the World, it's a card, it really is a card of victory in a way. It's coming to that point of completion, but it's also a reminder that things really, when I say that things come full circle, it really is a circle. Things really are kind of infinitely going in cycles. And yeah, it's just, even though it is the end, it's also a new beginning, is basically kind of what I'm trying to say. With every end, there's a new beginning. And I think that you've really progressed and come such a long way. And I really see such a bright future, a new beginning. And this really is a beautiful time to plant those new seeds and set those new intentions with this new moon, because I think that you've cleared that space. There is a little bit of tension here, I see, with this Five of Swords. This may be something to maybe look at a little bit more deeply within your life and your awareness within your relationships, possibly. But the Five of Swords, it's really all about um, unfair conflicts. Oftentimes, these could be disagreements, and these are kind of like situations where no one it ends with no one feeling satisfied. Like no one really feels like they've had any kind of successful resolution, or there's no real winner to the fight either. It's it's just kind of an unsatisfying, defeating situation for everyone. But this is a sign that it's this is a big sign. I think that it's important to pay close attention to your relationships, and maybe it would be a good idea to embody some of that mature wisdom that you've been accumulating throughout this time. If you as I feel that you've worked towards having that greater mastery of your material life or your finances or your career, maybe you have had a lot of success in that area, but maybe you've kind of put your relationships on the back burner, and there's been a possible amount of resentment or lack of communication that's possibly taken place because you haven't had the time to maybe focus as much as you could have or should have on those relationships. But I'm never saying you could have or should have. I never assume that about anyone's situation. I'm just saying that you should take this as it resonates with you, but you'll know what's right for you. And I'm just saying that it's possible that maybe you haven't had the time to really be fully present, or maybe there's just been a lack of communication or a lack of energetic alignment within your relationships in some kind of way. And this that could be that could manifest in a wide variety of different situations. So you'll know what resonates with you and what is relevant for your situation. So I'm going to go ahead and continue your reading by getting a card from our Moonology deck. And you'll have to excuse my voice. I've been a little bit sick recently, but we're going to get through this, and um, we're going to go ahead and get you a card from this Moonology deck. And we will just see what other messages Spirit has for you about this upcoming new moon. Okay, so I have a card for you here, and the card that we have is New Moon in Scorpio. Go deeper. This is interesting. So the new moons, these are times of planting new seeds, like I was saying, literally, metaphorically, and putting those new intentions out into the universe. And when the moon is in Scorpio, this is a time of really doing that deep internal shadow work and exploring what hidden undercurrents lie beneath the surface, what shadows and energies that have been ignored or repressed or unhealed for too long. And this is going deeper, like the card says, to do that inner work, to do that introspection, and to do that healing as well, and come out the other side. To come out the other side after that process of transmutation and really rise like a phoenix from the ashes, and Um, this card is it's really all about acknowledging what needs to be seen, what has been hidden, what has been repressed. And this card, it asks you to go deeper, and I feel that this is maybe not a time to just skim the surface and to really sit with these energies and to really allow yourself to feel them and allow them to move through you at their own pace and in the ways that they need to be experienced so they can be released and purged. And I think that it's interesting as well how we have a new moon card here with this the topic of the message of this reading being about the new moon, and also in the sign of Scorpio being the opposite. It's it's really the opposite sign of Taurus, and I just think it's really interesting. I think it's this is possibly a beautiful time to maybe really focus on what needs to be addressed, what's going on for you, what what needs need to be taken care of. And I think you'll know exactly what that is and what those are depending on your situation. So I'm going to go ahead and intervening by getting a final card from our Woodland Wardens Oracle deck. And we're just going to go ahead and get a final card for you here and um, just get a final message from Spirit about this upcoming new moon. All right. So the card that we have is the Chipmunk and Laurel Success. Well, that's definitely a good sign. And we'll take a look at our guidebook here also. Just to get a little bit more information, I'm going to read the description for you. So just give me a moment here. Okay, the chipmunk in laurel symbolizes a new venture that will surely lead to success. The chipmunk often takes the road less traveled, finding hidden pathways and adventure along the way. The laurel is a symbol of victory, used to crown the winners in the ancient Olympic Games. Together, they tell us to take charge of our destiny, carve our own path, and find success. Forge a unique path towards your desires. The road to achieving your goals is hardly ever straight and easy, but the journey is ultimately rewarding. What successes what successes in my life can I celebrate? How can I carve my own path and live my truth? So I think that's definitely something to consider, and I think that perhaps maybe the chipmunk itself could possibly be some kind of have some kind of spiritual significance for you. Maybe it's a spiritual animal for you. Um, Maybe you see chipmunks frequently where you live in your part of the world. Um, or maybe the laurel is, or laurel, however you pronounce it. Maybe that plant has some kind of significance for you. So maybe just something to consider. But the card literally means success, and that's kind of what I've been talking about with the King of Pentacles and the Taurus energies. I think that this is a time to really focus on maybe some deep grounding work, some deep healing work. You may have astrological needle placements in the sign of Scorpio as well, and the energies of Saturn may be significant for you, but these are just some things to take into consideration. But I feel that whatever happens, I feel that you are going to be very pleased with the results because you just seem to have that that good luck, that good fortune, and the last card was literally about success, and that's what I've been talking about, especially with that King of Pentacles. And I think you're just really calling that energy in. You're really attracting that, really manifesting it, and it's really showing here. And I just I think it's important just to keep doing that work, doing that healing, and even when it feels inconvenient, even when it feels a little bit messy, I think it's important to always remember to make time to focus on relationships, especially when there's difficulty and trouble in relationships. That's a sign that there's something to pay attention to and something to be addressed, and that and the solution could be different for every situation, but these are just some things to keep in your awareness. And this is just the energies that I feel are coming through from spirit within this reading. So just take this as it resonates with you. And I'm going to go ahead and enter reading here, group one. It's been an absolute privilege to bring you this reading. And if you enjoyed this video, please consider liking and subscribing to my channel. And I'm sending you so much light, so much love, and so many blessings upon your journey. Thank you so much. Hello, Group 2, and welcome to your reading about your message from Spirit about the upcoming Taurus new moon. So I'm going to go ahead and reveal the card that you chose, and this card is going to represent the overall energetic theme of the reading. And I'm also going to build upon that by getting a few more tarot cards, followed by some oracle cards as well. So let's go ahead and reveal the card that you chose. So the card that we have is the Six of Wands, and this is actually a very nice energy to begin your reading here. And the Six of Wands, this is really all about stepping into the spotlight and really being celebrated and acknowledged for whatever your craft may be. And this card has a lot to do with getting recognition for whatever your work, whatever your craft is. But being in the spotlight, being a front and center stage, and maybe even getting a lot of attention as well, getting your work noticed, whatever that may be for you. But this is definitely a very good sign, and this is with this new moon, this may be a beautiful opportunity for you to really put yourself out there. Maybe focus those new intentions on really allowing yourself to be seen and celebrated, and just continuing working hard on whatever you're doing, whatever you're focusing and putting your energy into. So that may be something to keep in consideration around this new moon. So I'm going to go ahead and get a few more tarot cards for you here from our Cat Tarot. That's the deck that I'm using today, and this one is always really cute. It's one of my favorites. I haven't used this deck in a while, but I'm just going to go ahead and get you a few more cards here, and we will just see what else Spirit wants you to know, what other messages want to come through. All right. So I have two more cards for you here. And the first one that we have is Moon. Interesting. Okay. And our next card is the Ten of Pentacles. Well, these are some interesting energies, but I'll begin by first discussing this Moon card here. And I think it's interesting how the topic of this reading is about the new moon. But this major arcana card is often associated with the astrological sign of Pisces. So you may potentially have astrological needle placements in the sign of Pisces, but whether you do or not, always take these readings as they resonate with you. And this card is really often associated with intuition, intuitive abilities, psychic abilities. It's also associated with anxiety and illusion as well. Things maybe not appearing what they, things not maybe appearing, not being what they appear to be. And this is a time of the truth coming into illumination as well, something being revealed. But anxieties and fears can be highlighted with this card, and it may be important um, to to focus on listening to your intuition rather than listening to your anxiety, and to focus on your truth, to focus on what you know is right within the core of your being, within the core of your soul. And like I said, I feel that the truth is really being illuminated, and um, this is this is a time to really pay attention to your dreams, to whatever visions or whatever new downloads come in when in other altered states of consciousness. So definitely something to pay attention to. And um, and we also have a little, what appears to be a little crab here on this card, and that's often associated with the energy of Cancer. So that may have significance for you also. But anyway, I'll continue by discussing this Ten of Pentacles here. And you'll have to excuse me if my voice sounds a little bit stuffy. I've been sick recently. I'm recently getting over a cold, so just bear with me. But anyway, with this Ten of Pentacles, this is a really beautiful energy, especially with this reading being about the new moon Taurus, because this is really all about that abundance, that luxury, and enjoying the finer things in life after putting forth a lot of effort and a lot of energy into those goals, into those dreams. And this Ten of Pentacles, this is really all about having more than enough than you need. This is actually a wonderful sign, because this card is very much connected to having great wealth, having great resources, great abundance, and having not only enough for yourself, but having enough to leave behind for maybe your children or for future generations. Having enough to take care of your family, of your loved ones. So this is definitely a very, very nice energy. And I'm going to continue your reading by getting a card from our Moonology deck here. And I'm just going to go ahead and get you another message from Spirit. And we'll just see what else wants to come out. This is a good shuffle. All right. So we have another card here, and the card that we have is the full moon in Cancer. Let your fears dissolve. And you can't make this up. I think that's just very interesting how we have kind of this synchronicity, and it may be for you that lunar energies hold some kind of significance, maybe just watery energies as well. We don't really have much other water energy here with a wand and a pentacles card with our earth and fire elementals, but with this, I think it's interesting how I was just talking about the crab and the sign of Cancer, but when the moon is in its home sign when it's in Cancer, it's actually my own natal moon placement. But when During the full moons, this is a time of that full illumination, full manifestation of things really coming to light. And it's a time of celebration and really having gratitude for what you've put your hard work into, and what has worked out and what hasn't worked out along the way. Because at the end of the day, all of our manifestations are worth acknowledging, worth celebrating, um, because ultimately, I feel like things, even the difficult things, have to happen in order for us to learn and grow from them, as painful as that may be sometimes. But anyway, but that full illumination and manifestation is just very potent, and the energies can be very emotionally charged around the time as well. And in the sign of Cancer, like I was mentioning about it being in its home sign, it can also be, like I was saying, very emotional, very tender, and it's a very nurturing, very loving, protective energy, a very feminine energy. But those crab claws can definitely pinch when they need to, and there's there's definitely a little bit of spiciness with Cancer energy too. But this card asks you to let your fears dissolve, and whatever those fears may be. I feel that it could be very much connected to any underlying anxiety or unconscious or subconscious fears that may be present within the depths of your mind. And maybe you've been really busy working on these manifestations, and maybe some of these emotional layers and undercurrents have kind of been left unaddressed and unhealed for a while. And maybe this is just a sign to focus on that inner strength and that inner power, and maybe to let any fears of maybe fears of being seen, of being in the spotlight. Maybe that's what this could be for you. But um, obviously, this is going to be different for everyone's situation. But I think this is a time to just to focus on stepping into your power, stepping into your truth, and stepping into your light. Because at the end of the day, you have everything that it takes to make your dreams a reality. And I'm going to go ahead and conclude your reading by getting a final card from our Woodland Wardens Oracle deck. So I'm just going to go ahead and get you a final card here, group 2, and we'll just see what else wants to come through from Spirit. All right, we'll give these a nice shuffle. Looks like we have a card. All right, so the card that we have for you is the Elk and Ash Strength. This is a very beautiful card, and I'm going to go ahead and read the description from the book here, and we'll just see what it has to say. I always love the descriptions in this guidebook. It really helps add a lot more depth. So give me just a second. If I could find this card. Okay. Strength. Elk are colossal creatures, crowned with substantial antlers, known to cover great distances over difficult terrain. They are symbols of strength and endurance. Likewise, ash trees are sturdy and resolute, able to flourish even in harsh environments. You are called to gather your strength ahead of a challenge. Face it with confidence in your own face it with confidence in your own stamina. Tame any unruly elements that try to derail you. Am I prepared to face up? Am I can't read today, obviously. Am I prepared to face upcoming challenges? Obviously not, if it's reading. How does inner strength differ from outer strength, and what situations call for each? So, these may be just some things to keep in your awareness and just some questions to possibly ask yourself. But I feel that you can interpret this in multiple different ways. And the elk, it could have some kind of spiritual significance for you. Maybe the elk is a spirit animal that you may have. Maybe you just find yourself very drawn to elk, um, or whatever it may be for you. And also the ash, the plant, it may have some kind of spiritual significance as well. Maybe if you are interested in herbalism. But I'm going to go ahead and I just also wanted to say that obviously this is a sign that you have great strength within you, and whatever challenges or whatever fears you may be facing, you have whatever it takes to overcome those fears and those challenges. And I'm going to go ahead and in your reading, I don't know how much my voice is going to how much longer my voice is going to hold up today. So thank you so much for being here. It's been an absolute privilege to bring you this reading. And if you enjoyed this video, please consider liking and subscribing to my channel. And I'm sending you so much light, so much love, and so many blessings upon your journey. Thank you so much. Hello, Group 3, and welcome to your reading about your message from Spirit about the upcoming Taurus new moon. So I'm going to go ahead and reveal the card that you chose, and this card is going to represent the overall energetic theme of the reading. And I'm also going to build upon that by getting a few more tarot cards, followed by some more oracle cards to get a little bit more insight and information about these energies. So let's go ahead and reveal the card that you chose. And the card that we have is the Eight of Cups, and this is interesting. This is the Eight of Cups. This is all about leaving something behind. This is all about walking away from something that hasn't worked out, maybe something that wasn't in alignment with our highest path, with our highest good. But this is all, like I said, it's all about leaving something behind, leaving the past behind. And even though it's painful, even though it's difficult, you're walking forward into a bright new future, and there's only going to be new opportunities waiting for you. And this is definitely a card where there is some sadness, but at the same time, there's no looking back. And I feel that you have everything that it takes to overcome the situation. And with this new moon, and with this card of the Eight of Cups, I feel that this may be a time to really set new intentions about maybe about releasing some attachments and removing anything that has expired, that it's time to release. So this may be a very very important energetic theme to take into consideration, and maybe to work with, and maybe some new intentions to keep in consideration as well. But obviously take this reading as it resonates with you as always. And I'm also going to get you a few more tarot cards from our Cat Tarot. And we're going to just get you a little bit more information here about this energy. So give me just a moment here while I give this a shuffle, and we will get you a few more cards. All right. So I have a couple cards for you here. So the first one that we have is the Ten of Wands. Interesting. And the next card that we have is the King of Wands. So I'll begin by talking about this Ten of Wands a little bit. And With this Ten of Wands, this is really all about feeling burdened or like you've been carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders for too long. And even though everything has been so heavy and so exhausting, I feel that you're at the point where the finish line is in sight. And whatever you're going through is something that you're not going to be experiencing for much longer. And I think this is a time to really be proud of yourself for how strong you truly are and how much courage and determination you have and tenacity to keep pushing through when times are difficult and when when things feel like when it feels like you can't take another step forward. um, I think it's times like those where it really truly reveals the strength and the true essence that you have within you. So I think that whatever you're going through, it's going to be something that is short lived, and you won't have to carry this weight for much longer, whatever that means for you. And the next card that we have is the King of Wands. And the King of Wands is really all about embodying that divine masculine energy, embodying the divine masculine energy of leadership in relation to mastery over your passion and over your over your creativity, and also embodying confidence and charisma as well, and kindness. I think that the King of Wands is one of my favorite kings of the tarot, and this is definitely all about having that positive masculine energy, that healthy masculine energy, having a healthy ego, also having a healthy ego, and having confidence and having courage, and having having the will and the drive to make any dreams that you have into reality. It's definitely very much related to that King of Wands archetype, but it's very much about um, taking action and following your passion, following your heart also, because the King of Wands is definitely, it's very much related to the energy of the heart space as well. It's very heart connected. And I am going to go ahead and continue your reading by getting you an oracle card from our Moodology deck. And you're going to have to bear with me with my voice being a little bit stuffy because I'm getting over a cold. So, unfortunately, there's not anything I can do about it. So, just bear with me, and I will go ahead and get you that oracle card. So, I'll go ahead and give these a shuffle, and we'll see what other messages want to come through. Okay, so the card that we have is the full moon in Aries. Cool your emotions. It's interesting. And this kind of reminds me a little bit of the King of Wands energy, because um, the King of Wands can be a little bit spicy, and when it's not embodied in its healthiest expression, it can be a bit impulsive or quick to anger in certain situations. So I think it's important to maybe think before you speak, and to when you feel, maybe if you feel triggered or um, irritated by something, maybe it's best to take a deep breath and take a moment to cool off before unleashing any kind of negative force, or any kind of words that you may regret upon anyone. I think it may be wise to just take a moment to come back to awareness, come back to presence before speaking or before engaging with anyone when you're in a highly emotional state. I think it's something many of us could work on, including myself. But the full moons, these are times of things coming into full illumination, full manifestation. It's a time of gratitude and celebration for um, our dreams coming into fruition. And in the sign of Aries, this is all about taking action, taking charge of our lives, and being being the bold leader of your life as well, and doing what you want to do, doing what your heart and your soul what they call you to do, regardless of what anyone else thinks about it, regardless of any judgments or opinions from others. It's really just being that trailblazer and just going for it, and just having that courage and that confidence to do what you want to do. And I think that's very, very inspiring. I think it might be important to maybe um, tone down the energy a little bit in certain situations when the emotions are running high and when things are stressful. But I think when those emotions are channeled in the appropriate way, they can be very powerfully and potently alchemized. So that's just maybe something to work with around the time of this new moon as you place new intentions. Um, Maybe as you're leaving something that's been pretty difficult, maybe as you're leaving behind a difficult situation, um, you're learning to step into your power, but there could be some emotional turbulence and maybe some emotional outpour. And I think it's definitely okay to feel those emotions, but just make sure that you are channeling them and expressing them healthily and using proper coping mechanisms. But I'm not going to, preach to you and tell you what to do, but it's just something to maybe take into consideration depending on who you are, depending on whatever situation. If that sounds like it may be something that could be useful for you. Okay, so I'm going to actually go ahead and end your reading by getting a final card from our Woodland Wardens Oracle deck. So we're just going to get a final message about this Taurus new moon for you, and we'll just go ahead and give this a shuffle and get you that card. Okay. So the card that we have is the Coyote and Datura, Deceit. Interesting. And I'm actually going to read the description from the guidebook here because I think that these really have a lot of interesting information and insight. So give me just a moment to find this. So give me just a second here. As I mentioned, I'm sick and I really don't feel like editing this video more, so I'm just going to have to bear with me for a second. Well, maybe I am going to. I don't want to make you wait this long. Okay. In the Victorian language of flowers, Datura warns of deceitful charms. It's a beautiful flower, but extremely poisonous, and is said to be an ingredient in the South that allows witches to fly on their broomsticks. Likewise, coyotes are often depicted as tricksters, known for their slyness and cunning. Beware of the charming stranger. Before opening up to someone new, consider what they may have to gain from your trust. Whom can I trust? How do I show others I am worthy of their trust? So these may just be some things to take in consideration. I think it may be just important, maybe around this time, to just be a little bit more cautious when dealing with when really dealing with anyone, and just make sure that you are protecting yourself, protecting your boundaries, and um, just maybe it's a good idea to not be overly trusting in certain situations. But I think you'll know what to do when the situation arises. But just trust your intuition, trust your own judgment. Just maybe be a little bit more careful, and um, maybe just be on the lookout for anyone who may not necessarily be honest or have your best interest at heart. So maybe just something to keep in consideration. And I also just wanted to mention that the coyote or datura, they may um, they may be spiritual animals, or it may be a spiritual animal or plant for you. So I know datura, there are actually people who do use datura. I definitely would not recommend doing that, but it actually is a psychoactive plant. And what the card description did mention about the flying ointments actually is a real historical fact. So maybe something to look into a little bit if you feel called to research the history of datura. And but I definitely would not recommend, using it or anything. As it said, it is extremely poisonous and it can be fatal. Um, so maybe just some interesting things to take away with you. And I'm going to go ahead and end your reading here, Group 3. Thank you so much for being here. It's been an absolute privilege to bring you this reading. And if you enjoyed this video, please consider liking and subscribing to my channel. And I'm sending you so much light, so much love, and so many blessings upon your journey. Thank you so much.